Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, Alhamdulillah, the next session is going to be a Muraqabah Dua, theory and practical, led by our Honorable Ustadh Zafar. So, the Muraqabah Dua itself, it is one of, if not the strongest connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where we present everything that's bothering us, everything that's inside of us, and we rely completely upon Him. So, without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to Ustadh Zafar. Jazakallah.
Jazakallah. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'du fa'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. I hope you've had a good stretch, good break. Not long to go before iftari. Although that should not be at the forefront of your mind. There's so many other things that you should be thinking about in terms of how to make the most of these blessed moments which are passing by so rapidly, and yet we've not been able to achieve what we want to achieve. And this ties in nicely with the session that I will be leading now. It's called Muraqabah, Dua, Theory and Practice. Can I have a show of hands? How many people are hearing about this for the very first time? So this is for the people who are new. Okay, so a lot of you have heard. Okay, so hands up if you have done this practice before. Okay. How many of you are doing this practice every day? Be honest. 1, 2, 3. So 3 people in this whole room are doing this practice every day. So this is a good reminder for yourself and myself as to why this is so important. And when we bring people on this journey to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is one of the things that we tell them to do every single day to help make that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stronger. And sometimes we listen to a bayan and we think it's detached to our everyday life. You think, oh, this is something about spiritual sciences, this is about religious knowledge, but you know me, I've got my business, I've got my career, I'm busy with that. Those thoughts are dominating your mind every single day. And one way to reflect upon what is it that is the main focus of your life? What is it that is dominating your heart and mind? And it's very easy to establish that. Very easy. How? When you wake up in the morning, what are the thoughts which are dominating your mind? Is it, how do I please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How do I help this creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my fellow brothers and sisters? Or is it, I really need to get that email out. I really need to get that bid in for that new contract we're trying to get. I need to go and send a message to that customer. You know, I've been working on him for a long time and I need to close that deal. So think, what is it, or how much money do I need to make today? Every single day, what is it that is dominating your mind? Is it dunya or is it the akhirah? And what I want to show you now is how to combine the two. So we don't live a life that we are just completely detached from dunya. The awliya Allah, like our blessed teacher Shaykh Ahmed Dabag, do not teach us to come out of the dunya. What they are teaching us is detachment, so we don't become attached to it and have the dunya living in our hearts. It's good to earn money. I like earning money. There's many people here who like earning money, but the money should stay in our hands and not enter our hearts. That's the most important distinction. They're not telling you to stay in the masjid, go and do halwat 24/7 and not go to work. I know people who do that as well, always out on tabligh, always out on jamaats, and they say, oh, we're doing the work of deen, we don't need to work. You do need to work. You need to have a balance. Your family has rights upon you. You have rights that you can only fulfill if you are also a productive member of society. If you are earning money, if you have successful businesses, then you can fulfill the rights of charity by giving zakat, sadaqah, extra increased charity. And if I'm sitting at home saying that I'm always worshipping Allah but I'm on benefits, then I'm actually receiving zakat really. I should be the one who aims to be the one who is giving, not receiving but giving. So just focusing on this muraqabah is a form of connection that we establish with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a spiritual connection. It's a methodology which takes us out of heedlessness. Because most of the day, we go about our business, our work, and we're not mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Would you agree with that? Would you say, how many of you put your hand up and say that a large part of your day you're at work doing your own things and you forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Be honest, don't be shy. Nobody's gonna ask you or pick on you. We just do our own thing, and then when we read namaz or we come to the masjid, then we maybe think about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But even then, many of us standing on the prayer mat, we are heedless of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even on the prayer mat in the masjid, we're thinking about our business, our work, our daily issues. And I don't need to tell you, just each and every single one of you should be able to answer, how attentive am I when I'm in the house of Allah, on the prayer mat, in my salah, or am I too busy thinking about my worldly things, my work, my business, my family? These are all worldly things. These are there to test me and you. So would you agree that there's not a single person here in this room? There may be, I don't know, but I would bet there isn't a single person in this room who is not suffering from problems. Everybody has got some problem or another. So I think you may have seen that slide. Let's shout out some of the problems that we have in our in daily lives. On the right, shout. Health, okay. Relationships. Wives. If you've got multiple wives, that's a problem, yeah? What about the ones who have one wife? Is that a problem? Marriage is a test. I mean, we joke, but it is probably one of the biggest tests that people have to endure. Because other people, you see temporarily during the day at work, yeah, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, yeah, see you later. But spouses who are living with each other 24/7, they are the biggest test for each other. And they are the ones who know your true reality. Because on the outside world, you can hide your reality. But family members know your true reality. So what else? We've had relationships, we've had health. What else? Finances is a very big one. Anything else? Sorry? Political, okay. Anxiety about political things, okay. I'm going to start highlight.
You can't begin to list the problems.
Really?
You face more problems.
MashaAllah. You want to name something that anybody's not mentioned?
What can I mention? I'm saying you got children, you got children's children, you got extended families, you got a community issue.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, it's true. It's very true. I remember a guy said to me that he came from Pakistan and his biggest problem was how to sort his status out, to get his passport and get his immigration status sorted. So once he got that, then he started thinking about, let's get the wife and the kids over. They're in Pakistan. So once he spent a few years trying to arrange for their visa, they arrive. And then he said we were living in a rented house. Then we thought we need to move out of a rented flat and need to go into a house. We bought a house, rented house. Then we thought we wanted to buy our own house. But then we bought our own house. And then he goes, this situation is still ongoing. It seems like we're constantly dealing with one problem, one need, trying to fulfill that. So life is all about problems and needs, the needs that we are trying to fulfill. A problem is something we don't want, and a need is something we want. So our life, we just navigate around this issue of problems and needs. So just to highlight some of the things that the problems people are facing. Again, as our Honorable Uncle Iqbal said, this is not exhaustive. As you get older, the list gets longer and longer, and that is a fact. That is definitely a fact. Relationships, I mean, first people are trying hard to get married, and some of them, once they get married, they try hard to get rid of their spouses. You know, so it's a never-ending problem. Need a job, addictions, relationships. I mean, when we say relationships, it could be sibling relationships. We could be, you know, with your parents. And this is something that we come across so much now. It's unbelievable that people who are having problems within their own families, people who are not talking to their brothers and sisters. I've known cases. I just recently had a case where the son was not talking to his mother for years. She passed away. Even before she passed away, I was one of the people who sent a message to him saying, you need to come and see your mother. She's on her last stages. And he said, I've spent all these years without talking to her. It will make no difference to me coming to see her as she is in the last stages of her life. So I'm not in need of her. And if she dies, I'll pray for her from home. That's exactly what he said to me. I was really shocked that how can somebody be so cold and callous that they are not going to attend to their dying mother. But these are relationship problems. These are everyday issues that people are having now. You know, we all know family breakdowns, dysfunctional families, needs. Let's talk a little bit about our needs. As I said, a need is something we want. So what sort of things would be on your list that you would like, starting from this side? What would you like that you don't have in your life at the moment, if you're comfortable to mention? Sorry? Studies, qualifications, okay. Anybody else? A wife? Okay, very good. You be careful what you wish for. Needs, what else? Sorry? Spiritual well-being, yeah, mashallah, very good. Anything else? Loads of things. Needs can also be greeds as well. They can never ever, that can be an inexhaustive list. It can never ever be enough. Just remember that. It's very important on this journey to get close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You make a distinction between what is a need and what is a greed. A need can be fulfilled more easily, but a greed cannot. And if we start fulfilling our greeds, that can also lead to a path of self-destruction. Would you agree? Yeah? So it's very, very important to distinguish that. And that's not to say that we should not have things, desire things which are over and above our needs. But I'm going to show you now how we should do that, rather than just having fanciful, sort of ludicrous goals which can basically take over your life. Needs, as a brother said, spiritual well-being. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our biggest need. Oh Allah, we need you. You are the one that we want the most. We want your friendship. Likewise, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know, we should be aspiring to be a good copy of the best of creation. I mean, again, I've put worldly things. Nothing wrong with that. We all have needs, like we want a house, we want a nice car. Somebody mentioned a wife. We want success, we want career, and we want money. Nothing wrong with that at all, as long as it's halal. And you know, some of the best companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Hazrat Usman bin Affan, they were very, very wealthy. Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, they were very, very wealthy companions. So there's nothing wrong with that at all, providing you earn that wealth lawfully and you spend it lawfully as well. You don't waste it and you don't use it for illegal, unlawful desires. How do we try to achieve the above? This is what majority of us are engrossed in our daily lives. How do we try to achieve that? I'm going to pick on some tasir. How do we try and achieve these things? Mentorship, okay. Okay, mentorship. A plan, okay. Guidance, as what is mentioned, mentorship. Anybody else? Hard work, very good one that. Determination. Uncle?
Actually, you need to study the taqdeer to understand what you can achieve or not. Destiny.
See, that if we start discussing that, we'll be here till Fajr.
So I'm just saying that one of the things which misled me, I didn't focus on it because I didn't understand the taqdeer. Once I started understanding it, a lot of the issues got resolved.
That's right. What Uncle is mentioning is that sometimes we desire something, we want something, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants something else for us. So we shouldn't get too bogged down and depressed when something we want doesn't get fulfilled, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala may have a better plan for us. But there's nothing stopping us from still planning, as brothers have said, goal setting, planning for these lawful things. And I'm just going to mention some of the things that we utilize to try and achieve these things, like A, remove our problems, B, fulfill our needs. Our own intellect. This is one of the biggest reasons why we get depressed, is because we think, I've got this problem and I don't know how to solve it. I've got this problem and I don't know how to solve it. That's why people get depressed, because they're looking at it through their own narrow-minded vision and ability. What they don't realize is that there's a bigger divine power and source that they can tap into to remove their problems. And that's what this Muraqabah dua is about. Am I making sense? Yes? Okay. Our own power, our own resources. We think like a big financial problems hit us, and I've only got £200 in my bank. How am I going to deal with this? Again, we don't utilize the power of tapping into the treasury of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Network and contacts, political and social. What many people do when they are in need of something or they have a problem, they phone their friend Tom and Jerry. Then they probably go to their local councillor. He says, I can't help you. Go to your MP. MP says, I can't help you. You know, this is something that somebody higher up has to sort out or get involved in. And ultimately we go round and round and round, knocking this door, knocking that door, calling this person, calling that person. And we find that doors get slammed on our face and we feel at despair. And then many people think, oh, let me go to the masjid and I'll pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Although you don't need to go to the masjid to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is closer to you than your own jugular vein. We can reach out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wherever we are, whatever state we are in. But most people only turn to Allah when everybody else has closed the door on them, as a last resort, whereas it should be the first resort. Money. As I mentioned before, we think that we can solve our own problems with money. Sometimes we don't have enough money, and B, money is not the solution to all problems, because if it was, the richest people in the world would be the happiest. Why are they committing suicide? Why are they in depression? Why are they falling into addictions? It's because their money doesn't buy happiness. Their money cannot buy them solutions to their problems. Fake peers, witch doctors. You know, we go to like people who we think that are going to help us. In Pakistan,